Life has its share of ups and downs. What truly matters is how you get through those ups and downs. Hi, welcome to Bounce Back with Coco-Chi, a show designed to motivate, inspire, and help you to overcome the challenges life throws at you. Whether it be health and fitness, sex and relationship, business, career, spirituality, life, or just about the simple day-to-day stuff that stops you living your full potential. Stay tuned as we deliver inspirations, tips, and tools to help you navigate these challenges. I am your host, Coco-Chi. Okay, hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bounce Back with Coco-Chi. I am your host, Coco-Chi. As always, it's my absolute pleasure to be able to connect with you today. On today's episode, we have a special guest. Before we start, I will read her bio and we will let her tell us a little bit more about her. So today's guest is Dr. Tolu. Dr. Tolu is a medical doctor and a mental health advocate. Her ultimate goal is to increase the awareness of depression so that people can identify depression and get the help they need. Dr. Tolu is happily married and have two charming boys who she's totally and absolutely proud of. She loves to sing and dance. Dr. Tolu, welcome to our show. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about you?
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. As you said, my name is Dr. Tolu. I like to be called that. I'm a medical doctor by profession. I think I got into medicine basically because I love to help people. Right? I really wanted to help people. So that was what brought me into medicine, and over the years I've found more and more fulfillment in being able to be of help to people. Right now I really do not practice medicine, but I am into health financing. It's health insurance more like, and that means where I have the opportunity of reaching out to more people at the same time. Having said that, my drive right now is to create awareness on mental health. We do not know enough, especially in Africa. Not enough is known about mental health. And so many people are going through things and they themselves don't even understand. So I have come in as a voice to the people, to help people know that there is something called mental health, and in particular, depression, and to help people understand, okay, this is what depression is, this is what it looks like, okay, because some people are going through it and they don't even know, they don't have an idea, no sense of inclination that this is what they're going through and this is what they need to do. So I'm here to stand as a voice for people to know what depression is, be able to identify it, and know what to do. I'm also here to help people understand that it's fine not to be fine. And so you don't have to look down on someone that is going through a challenge. All right. So this is my message basically. And I love to have fun whenever I can, as much as possible. Yeah. So,
that's great. Me. That's great. Yes, we actually kind of gone inside the topic already. But before we actually go deeper, how did you remember your childhood? What was growing up like for you?
Whoa. Growing up was with a lot of mixed feelings looking back at it. And there was the fun part, but there were a lot of things that happened that if I had to relive it, it would be quite different. It would be quite different. And I wasn't so much of a very happy child growing up. There was quite a number of challenges growing up, and so that also gives me those kind of inclinations or what we need to do, around a child, But one of the things that really did help me a lot growing up was my love for singing. And I would just sing, try to make myself
Mm.
happy. What else? I think I really loved
Yeah.
cartoons there. I didn't have enough of it, so I still watch cartoons with my children. I still watch cartoons
Yeah.
with my children even at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, but I think all in all, it was an experience that I just felt like, okay, it could be better. I think majorly, like my mom was a working class woman and really did not have so much time. I didn't start the growing up period with my
Mhm.
parents, so that did affect me a lot. By
Mm.
the time I came back home, it was like I was a stranger because I was just very different. I'd grown up in a different environment, so I was
Yeah.
very different. So all of those things put together made me, really
Yeah.
decide like when I grow up, I'm going to make it, I'm going to take some different choices and ensure that my children have fun and enjoy that childhood experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm. Oh yeah. So I can actually hear that you have mixed feeling growing up. For the sake of our listeners, you've gone through this. How did you bounce back and recovered from all that? What is the things moving forward you could share with our listeners? How did you navigate these challenges? How did you walk around it?
Okay. As a child, I think one of the major things that really did help was me finding Christ at a very early age. Okay. I always just told my parents I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go to boarding house. I wanted to leave the house. I just couldn't wait to leave. And off to boarding house
Mm.
I went after writing so many different exams. But I was just bent on no, I needed to just leave the house and be in a different atmosphere. And growing up even in a Christian home, of course, understandings are different and all that. But I got into secondary school and I gave my life to Christ. And that was the beginning for me. That was
Mm.
where I started to experience joy and that comfort and that reality that, oh, okay, I'm different, I'm unique, I'm wonderfully made. And that's brought me back
Mm-hmm.
to life and brought me back to that point of knowing that, oh yeah, I'm special, irrespective of any odds. And that's I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's really deep for me, okay? And over the years as I have grown,
Mm.
my understanding, as I have grown in the things of God and understanding who I am, it has made it better
Yeah.
day by day, and it has been splendid, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really, really important to know who you are and know your purpose, what you are put on this earth for, what God created you for. And it seems like you've kind of got it now. And it would be nice to know your passion. What are you passionate about?
Okay. I think one of the things, and very strongly right now, like I said before, I love to help people, and that's why I picked up this profession that I'm in.
Mm.
And so right
Yeah.
now, I'm really, really, really passionate about helping people live a good life. Okay. I believe that everybody
Mm.
deserves to have a good life. Somebody that is depressed should live a good life, just the same way someone with diabetes or hypertension should be able to live a good life. Yeah. So everybody
Mm.
has equal rights to having a good life. And when the diagnosis
Mm.
is made, that's the beginning of the journey. That's the beginning of you coming back to what God had planned for you. Okay. And some people might really say that that's not the gospel. No, at the end of the day, the extreme end of depression is suicide. If someone has had the opportunity of finding
Yeah.
themselves and understanding what is going on and doing what they need to do, then they won't be at that point. They will never be at that point.
Mm.
They would have been able to live a good and fulfilling life, happy at the end of the day, being able to pull
Mm-hmm.
themselves out of the situation where they are in. And together we all can fulfill purpose, we all can create and get to that point. So this is my passion, helping people has been the most exciting thing for me, and I have found joy being a doctor. And even despite the fact that I moved out of clinical practice, well, being able to do what I do currently, I just feel like there's an opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to people. I'm helping people, and loads of people all at the same
Yeah.
time. And so that is fulfillment. That is purpose. That's what makes me happy. Yeah, that's it for me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. So let's go straight to this. You've touched a little bit of it, but we're going to go straight to it. The stigma, mental health stigma in Africa. How can we fight the stigma against mental health? What is the impact of stigma on people with mental health condition? How can we improve and educate more people to be aware of mental health, especially in Africa? Because it still feel like it's something people are not talking about. They're not talking about more of it. They don't know what it is. And if you have it, it's like you're an outcast. So how do we fight this stigma in Africa?
Thank you so much for that question. And sincerely, there is so much going on. There's so much stigmatization going on with people. And I think the major gap we have, especially in Africa, is the absence of knowledge in this field. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, an average Caucasian has an
Mm.
understanding of what mental health is. The average Caucasian knows, what depression is, and they understand that it's a medical condition.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
They
in
can see the
Africa,
sign. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
funny enough, they know the signs. They can say in themselves that, oh, I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
They know. Okay. But
Yeah.
in Africa,
Yeah.
the first thing that
Mm-hmm.
comes to mind when, someone is behaving funny is it's the witches,
Mm.
it's something diabolical. We
Mm-hmm.
just have this funny black magic
Mm-hmm.
interpretation of almost everything that we do not
Mm.
understand.
Yeah.
Whenever we really cannot explain it,
Yes.
we just say, oh, definitely
Mm.
this thing is funny and this thing is maybe witchcraft or something
Yeah.
because we don't understand. So there is that gap
Mm.
in knowledge. There's
We
a
don't understand.
knowledge gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a knowledge gap. We don't understand what it is.
Mm.
There are not enough voices out there talking about this to ensure that people understand. There's no campaign. Maybe there are, but compared to the population that we have, it's little, it's minute, it's not.
It's not
No,
enough.
it's not enough. It's not enough. Now there's a lot
Yeah.
being said about the non-communicable disease, diabetes, hypertension. Sometimes it looks like the mental
Mm.
health comes into play a bit, but not enough. And I mean, for Nigeria, I think I was talking with a specialist one of these days, and it was like he thinks they have about 2,000 thereabout psychiatric doctors in the whole country of
Okay.
more than 200 million people.
I know. Yeah.
Right. So, I
Yeah.
mean, one
It's
one per
quite
what?
sad. Yeah. Mm.
One per 200,000
Yeah.
people.
I know. It's sad.
Okay. So, what is the stigmatization? People look at someone that has a mental health issue and
Mm.
they feel like, oh, this person is mad. This person is insane,
Yes.
and so there's so
Mm-hmm.
many different types, there's so many different things, but we just categorize a person, and that's why a lot of people don't come out. They don't even want you to say that they have a
Yes.
mental. No, 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 because mental health is
Mental
like
health. Yeah.
equivalent to being mad, like being crazy. Okay, but that's not it. It's not
Crazy. Yeah.
true.
Yes.
It's not true,
Mm-hmm.
and so that prevents people from talking about what symptoms they're seeing. It prevents people from opening up and saying,
Mm.
"Oh, I'm feeling funny." Okay, I can come out and say that I have a
Yeah.
headache. and someone will go like, "Oh, so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used something?" And they would even recommend something
Yeah.
for you to use. But I can't come out and I say that
Something. Exactly. Yeah,
I'm overly,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm overly sad. I'm hearing things,
Yeah.
and instead of the same kind of
I'm
empathy we
feeling
would,
thought of doing something. Yeah.
we feel like we have an idea, but no, we don't. We don't get it. We really don't get it.
Yes.
And these are the things
Mm.
that are preventing people from getting help. Okay, because out of the fear of, oh,
Yes.
someone is going to think I'm going crazy. Okay, or maybe I am, and they're
Mm.
like, okay, so I'm not going to come out with it. And when you do find people that come out with it,
Mm.
friends run away, friends, just detach themselves,
Yes.
instead of standing by the
Mm.
person, they like just gradually detach themselves because
To
they feel this
help.
person
Yeah.
is running mad, so all of these things
Yeah.
affect these people. And unfortunately, unfortunately, severe or
Mm.
major depression presents with suicidal thoughts,
Mm.
attempted suicide, and suicide. And then we end up losing these people, and we go like,
Yes.
"Oh, are you serious? Oh, he had
Yeah.
that going on. Ah, I had no
Mm.
idea."
Mm.
Right? So
Yeah.
how you
Yeah.
you
When
then
it's too
asked it.
late, we bring the pity party. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
And those are things that really have to stop.
Yeah.
They have to stop. They have to stop,
Yeah.
and that's why I.
While you are the voice, the stigma is still here. It's not just Africa. It's still here in Europe and UK. Let's say you're looking for a job and you say, or on your CV, you said, "Oh, I had a little bit of mental health issues, so time and all that." There's still that stigma of,
Mm,
your employer is saying, "Oh, okay, I'm not sure about this." They would rather employ someone else that actually they think is okay. So there's still stigma here, but it's not as huge as it is in Africa.
mm,
People are talking about it. People are going out seeking for help. There's doctors here to actually encourage you to come out. There's nothing wrong about it. But it's a big issue in Africa. And I don't know how, as a mental health advocate, I don't know, what do you think we need to do more to help people, to speak freely about it? It's an illness that you need help. And most key of this is to talk about it more. The more you talk about it, the more you get much better. But what can we do to help our people in Africa?
yeah. So I think for me, it's something I think about a lot, and it starts from the top,
Mm.
right? The government has to see it as a priority.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about policies, you need to come forth with evidence. You need to have those data. We're not counting.
Mm.
We're not looking at evidence. We're
Yeah.
not gathering evidence. So do the countries know? Can they say last year how many suicidal cases did they have in the country? We don't have records. We're not keeping those
Mm.
records. And those are the things, when you have those kind of records, then you will see the gravity of what we're talking about. Do we know the number of people
The
going through
impact.
things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So because we are not,
Mm.
we're not seeing the
Yeah.
figures,
Mm.
and unfortunately,
Mm.
we have COVID. And what has COVID done? COVID has taken the person that already has a predisposing factor in his life, in his or her life, it has taken that person
Mm.
from where he is to
Mm.
a state where he doesn't even understand anymore. And he's wondering, but I was fine some days
Mm.
ago. But
Yeah.
as a result of one, the isolation,
Mm.
probable loss of job, loss of social contact with people, he has found out that he really doesn't understand what is going on. He used to be fine, So COVID has brought in another twist
Mm-hmm.
into this conversation. Well,
Yeah.
do we have
To mental
numbers
health.
to
Yeah.
mental health? So it has increased these numbers. But we don't even know. Okay, so that's why it looks
Yeah.
like the government is not
Yes.
saying much about it because we don't have the figures. So one of the things you need to be able to say how many people are affected. We need to be able to do a count, okay? Have
Mm.
evidence. How many people actually committed suicide? Suicide occurs as a result of major depression. People just don't wake up one day and kill themselves. They would have been going through a couple of things. Do you understand? So, how many people did that in the
Yeah.
course of a particular period of
Yes.
time? And then we make policies that makes mental health a priority. Do you see? Like
Mm.
WHO came out
Mm.
and they were saying that
Mm.
mental health, in fact, depression is like the major cause of disability across the world. Okay, so if it's a major cause of
Wow.
disability,
Wow.
it's not only in abroad, it's here in Africa, but we're not looking at the numbers, so we don't
Mm.
have an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are not placing priority on
Idea.
it
Mm.
because we do not know. So we need to be able to
Mm.
get the figures. We need to be able to
Yeah.
have policies, that puts it high up there on the priority list when it comes to health. Okay, because it affects just
Mm-hmm.
about anybody. Mental health does not look at the age. It can affect a
Mm.
child, a teenager,
No.
a young adult. Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it can affect just about anybody,
Mm-hmm.
an elderly person, the whole
Yes.
spectrum, right? So if we place
Lot.
enough
Yep. Mm-hmm.
emphasis, right, create policies and have people go out, um, even if we need to get NGO support, there are a lot of NGOs that are willing and able to carry out. But first, there has to be emphasis. There has to be priority laid by the government. Okay, and then let people know. Let people know. Let the word out there. Let people know that it is fine
Mm.
not to be fine. Okay, you do not need
Yes.
to look down on someone because he has a challenge. Instead, you're supposed to be able to help that person.
Mm.
Help the person that
Yeah.
seemingly look as if he is fine now and is going through things and he is able to identify what he's going through before it becomes too late. Okay, now unfortunately
Yeah.
in Africa, I'll talk a bit about Nigeria. You will find people, on the streets.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find
Mm-hmm.
someone well
Mm-hmm.
dressed. Sometimes you find someone like stark naked, and in their own mind, because of the mental health
Mm-hmm.
issue they have, they are seeing things differently. Just in the introduction of some drugs, you
Yes.
find out that these people come back to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, just the
To
same way,
normal.
just
Yes.
normal.
Yes.
So, why prevent people, why deprive people of just that access to medication, right? That will make sure that they live a normal
Yes.
life. So, you see, the ignorance is massive, and
Mm.
that we need to tackle. That we need to tackle.
It's
I mean, we can
huge.
cover.
Yeah. Yes, yes. It's yeah, a problem of Africa is not a problem of one day. It's a long process to solve a problem of Africa, and mental health has taken a back seat of everything. Mental health has taken a back seat. You mentioned children there. What are the responsibilities of raising mentally healthy children? As a mom with two amazing boys, what are the responsibilities of raising mental healthy children?
Okay, very quickly. One, love. You have to be able to create an atmosphere of love. Okay, every child is different, every child is unique. You have to be able to ensure that the
Mm.
children are loved equally. They are shown that love
Mm-hmm.
because that's very important. From a baby that has maybe lost a mom, at birth, you will find out that when they don't you have that fatherly, maybe it's the person that takes over the raising of that child, they really not show that those kind of affection. It affects the child, the way the child grows and the perception of that child as it keeps growing. Okay, now
Mm.
the way God has created it,
Yeah.
a baby will nurse at the mother's breast, right? It causes that contact.
Mm.
that body to body contact. If you position a child properly for breastfeeding, it's as
Mm.
if the baby actually comes in touch with your tummy and gets
Mm-hmm.
fed. So there is that contact, there's that connection that
Yeah.
occurs. Now, when that is absent, there's already something starting. We call it maternal deprivation. And this can predispose a child to
Mm-hmm.
depression. So
Mm.
at that stage, then also when a child is growing up and, he just doesn't feel loved, everything, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's you. Something goes wrong in the house, it's you. The
Mm.
child feels like I'm not part of
Mm-hmm.
the family. Okay. So back to your question. What
Unloved. Yeah. Yeah.
what do we need to do
Mm.
as a mother, as a father,
Yeah.
raising up children? We must create the
Mm-hmm.
right atmosphere. And the right atmosphere is the atmosphere of love. You can correct a child, you can scold a child, but you will do all of it in love. That the child will understand that, oh, but daddy is saying this or is doing this because he loves me and he doesn't want me to do the wrong things. So they grew up knowing that they are loved. You must create an atmosphere of friendship. A child should know that this adult is a friend. What is friendship? Someone I can
Mm.
confide in, someone that loves me, that cares for me, someone that I can be myself around. Okay, so a child must consider you,
Mm.
the mother, the father, as a friend. Okay, so creating an atmosphere of friendship around the house, play with your child, do stuff with them. I advocate, watch TV with them, no, understand what they're watching, play games with them, spend time with them. It's so difficult in these days because a lot of times we're in lockdown, we're working from home, we're on Zoom, meeting all through the day. It's so difficult, but we
Yeah.
need to create time. Seriously, we just need to create time. And then
Mm.
another thing is protecting our children. Okay, how do you protect a child? You have helps in the house. You have male female helps. Now, one of the things that causes depression in children is abuse. There's sexual abuse, there's verbal abuse, there's emotional abuse, all of those things. So you have to be able to protect your child from these things.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're able to do this, I mean, we would have created children that can walk up to you if there's something wrong and confide in you. We would have created
That's
children
right.
that are
Yeah.
bold, are confident, knowing
Yeah.
that, oh, daddy has got my
Mm.
back, right? We
Yes.
would have raised up children that are not abused in any way because we have protected them. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, those things we should not, joke with at all. They are important to creating an atmosphere that is right for a child and ensuring that we reduce the risk of depression
Yeah.
in a future adult.
Mm. Mm. So it's love, and safety for the child.
Love,
Yeah,
safety,
I love
friendship.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, friendship. Yeah. So today you've kind of like thrown a lot of nugget there for people. Oh my God, I'm like gobsmacked. Wow, there's a lot of information coming through. So would you agree with me that the best way to overcome mental health stigma are to remember that you are not alone? Okay. Whatever you're going through, you are not alone. You need to speak up and you need to get people educated about the whole thing. Will you agree with me? That's the three main things that we need to focus on. Even the leaders are going through it. They just like, they don't want to talk about it. So you're not alone. Get help and educate people. Would you agree with me? That's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, everyone has to come to the realization that you're not alone and you're not abnormal,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're not
Mm.
abnormal. As you said, a lot of people are going through things, but they don't tell you that they're seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist, right? And because they're not
No,
talking
no.
about it, so you feel
True.
you feel like, oh, everybody is fine.
Doesn't mean, yeah,
Right. No, and,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the other thing that happens in Africa. We feel it's only when things are bad that's when you go get help. That's where you go
Mm.
meet a counselor or something.
Mm-hmm.
People feel like when the marriage
Mm.
is at the verge of divorce, that's when they go for counseling and it's almost like it's too late.
Expired, yeah. Exactly.
Do,
Yep.
do you
Yep.
get?
Yep.
So, but we need to
Yep.
come
I
to the
know.
understanding
Crazy.
that it's
Mm,
crazy. We need to be able to speak out. We need to be able to
mm,
speak out. And the way
mm.
especially with depression, talking goes a long way in helping the person, in really
Yeah.
helping the person.
Mm-hmm.
Finding a friend and talking to someone goes a long way. We need to be able to come out,
Yes.
talk to people. But more importantly, I will say seek help,
Mm.
seek medical help. Okay, that's the beginning. Seek
Yes.
medical help. And
Mm-hmm.
then your social network is important. And let people know. For people that have gone through this,
Mm,
you've gone through depression, you've come out of depression, and then you're keeping it to yourself that nobody should know. No, please come out and talk about it. Let us fight
no.
this thing together.
Yeah.
Let people know that, oh, I've
Together.
gone through this
Absolutely.
thing. I've come out of it. And I like the way Caucasians are, really. A lot of celebrities, a lot of
Mm,
people in
mm,
showbiz that have gone through they come out. If you go on Google and you just do a search, celebrities that have gone through depression, or they are talking about it. And we
mm-hmm.
need to be able to talk about it, especially here
Yeah,
in
they
Africa.
do.
You're a role
Yeah.
model. People are looking up to you.
Mm,
Come out and talk about it
yeah.
so that people will understand that
Yeah.
it's fine not to be okay, and you can get help and you
Exactly.
would be fine. Okay.
Exactly.
So, yeah, very important.
Is it?
Let's talk
Yeah.
and let's educate people.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, that is so amazing. I love it. So, good mental health is very much supported by having a healthy lifestyle.
Hmm.
So, what is your tips of living a healthy and happy lifestyle as a busy mom, as a businesswoman, as a doctor? What is the tip of living a happy and healthy lifestyle?
Okay. So fantastic. Thank you so much for that question. So let's take it. I'll take quite a number of things. First thing, rest. Now
Yeah.
you have said busy.
Okay.
Mom,
Oh, busy. Yeah.
doctor.
We're all busy moms. Yeah.
Yes, we are
Yep.
homeschooling.
Too many
We are,
hats.
we are teachers.
Too many hats. Yeah.
We are somebody's wife. I mean,
Yep.
there's so many things that we're doing all at the same time.
I
So I would say
Yeah.
it's true. So I'll say it loud and clear. Rest. We must be able to rest. I'll say
Yeah.
rest. Know how to rest your brain, rest your body, rest your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a book
Mm-hmm.
that is coming up very soon, and yeah, maybe we'll talk about it later. But I
Oh,
really
great.
try to go into this in
Oh,
in
that would be nice. Yes.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really try to talk about it in that book,
Yeah.
because we need to rest. You need to recuperate. You need to
Mm.
get back the energy that you dissipate every day, especially women. Ah, we need to
Mm-hmm.
rest. You need to be able to
Mm-hmm.
take time out. It's easier said than done. I mean, when
Yeah.
you have children pulling you, even when
I
they are grown
know.
up, they are still pulling you like mom, 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 and all of that. But we need
Mm-hmm.
your time, and you need time to rest. So that's one. Two, you need to be able to eat healthy. You need to eat healthy. What is eating healthy? And this is something that really does affect people with depression. You find out that they go through the extremes.
Mm.
Either they're eating junk or they are not eating at all.
Mm.
You understand? So eating well, eating healthy. What is eating healthy? Eating a balanced diet. I'm not the fan of
Exactly.
extremes
Yeah.
of diets, or it's keto, or no, I'm not a
Me
fan of the
too.
extremes,
Me
okay?
too.
Because somehow I feel you're losing out on something else,
Mm.
okay? But eat a balanced diet.
Exactly.
Ensure
Yeah.
that your
Exactly.
carbohydrates, your protein,
Yeah.
your fruits, your vegetables are all included in what you're
Mm-hmm.
eating on a daily basis. And teaching that to the children at a very early
Basis.
stage
Yeah.
too is important. Okay, so eat healthy. Eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that would ensure that what you're consuming is healthy. The amount of oil, the type of oil, emphasis on the healthy proteins. You understand, not ensuring that you're not taking too much of carbohydrates. Create a balance. Always create a balance. I love it when you mix carbohydrates and
Yeah.
protein. You're not just taking one of this and one of that, and then take a lot of water. Drink a
No.
lot of water. I mean, have a bottle so that you know what you're drinking, but or you're consciously drinking it and staying hydrated. Another way to be mentally healthy is exercise. I know we say this all the time. We always
Yeah.
say it's exercise, exercise, exercise. Yeah, that is another thing that comes in when, for a busy person, you're wondering, where is the time for me to
Yeah.
exercise? And so
For
the
exercise.
yes,
Absolutely.
where
Yep.
is the time? I mean, we've said we're busy and all of that, but I keep
Mm.
saying something. You don't have to register
Mm.
in a gym to exercise.
Yep.
You don't have to register in a gym
Yep.
to
Spot
exercise. I
on.
mean,
Absolutely.
I will see you. We see you right there in your living room. Yeah, create something that
Yeah.
works. Running on the
Yeah.
spot,
Yeah.
walking
Absolutely.
around your
It's you.
house,
Mm-hmm.
aerobics in your
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually where you're top. What you were just speaking about is just like close to my heart. I find that a lot of busy moms, women, and they all keep saying, "I'm busy, I'm busy, busy this, busy that," but we're neglecting one thing that we're supposed to be making a priority, which
Mm-hmm.
is our health. When you are healthy, mentally healthy, you can handle everything, all the challenges of being a mom, of being a wife, of being a businesswoman, of being that and that. When you are mentally healthy, both
Mm-hmm.
mind, body, and soul, you can handle anything. But that's what we always do. Oh, I'm so busy. I can't do exercise. I can't eat
Mm-hmm.
healthy. There's no time for that. But then I go back to what you said. Then we got sick. And that's when we start taking action. When it's now too late,
Yeah.
your body said, I can't take this anymore. You know? And that's when we start running like chicken without head, looking for solutions to our problem. When we could have actually started it earlier on, you know? I think that's another education for busy women, kind of, get yourself going, make yourself stronger, healthy, mentally and body as well. Not just, oh, busy for everyone. You need to take care of yourself first.
Absolutely. Do you know that that exercise actually acts as an antidepressant? Yeah, it actually
Absolutely.
acts as an
Absolutely. Yeah.
antidepressant. And for people that have gone through or are going through therapy, you find out that exercise is actually part of their therapy. It's actually part of the therapy. So why not
Yeah.
ensure? So if it's good enough
Hmm.
for someone that is going through something, why not do that when you are like healthy right now? And I say to people,
Healthy.
yeah,
Yep.
I say to people, you don't have to go to the gym. You could do a brisk walk.
No.
Walking, right?
Yep.
Walking. At a point, I told myself, well, okay, I'm not going outside. I'm going to stay within my house. And I did a habit stacking. I love to
Mm.
pray, right? And I just told myself, okay, so I'm going to put the walking
Yeah.
with my prayer. So I do a prayer walk in my room. And sometimes I do
Hmm.
like 3,000 steps
Yeah.
during my prayer period.
Oh, I
Can you
love
imagine?
that. Yeah. Hmm. I
3,000
love that.
steps during that period.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
that.
So be able to create something that works for you. Go on YouTube, pick up a video. There are these aerobics videos
Yeah.
on YouTube, 30 minutes without any gadgets.
Mm.
And you would have done a good job,
Yep.
yourself. So and I mean your phone, we all have smartphones now. There are quite a number of things, some apps on the
Yeah.
phones. There's so many things available for us. So it's our conscious effort to do what we need to do. We need to do what we need to do and ensure that we're doing it. Um, Another thing with keeping it healthy is also being able to accept the things that you cannot change. Now, that mental part too, okay?
Yeah.
Because we need to be mentally
I
healthy.
love that.
Accept the things that you cannot change. Change the things that you can change. But be strong enough to know that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this thing I cannot change it. Okay, so fine. Let's live with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's important because
Yeah.
we put undue pressure on ourselves. We put ourselves in a rat race that is not necessary.
Mm.
Okay. So let's be able to look at things and, have create those values for yourself. Like, okay, this is the limits. Anything beyond this is not worth my time. It's not worth my stress. It's not worth the stress. I'm not going to kill myself over it, because all of these things are very important. These are the kind of things that throw people into situations like they're just so like, no, I had to get this, I had to get this at every cost, that at the detriment of themselves, at the
Yeah.
detriment of their mind. So know the things that you can change, right? And go ahead and do them in small steps, whatever you can get them done. And know the things that you cannot change, the things that are not dependent on you, right? And accept them and move on. And then always find a friend. Yeah, so
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have put it any better. That is absolutely beautifully put. So let's go to this book you're talking about. Can we know a little bit about this book? Would you like to share it with us?
okay, yeah, I will. It's actually a book for women, and it's a book that I would say to
Okay.
everybody, because we all have women in our lives, and it's for women at the age of 40 and above.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because at the age of 40, something new starts, something different. It's like
Absolutely. You are singing my song already. I'm gonna get that book.
yeah, it's right now we call it the fourth floor, right? It's an amazing period in the life of a
Oh
woman, and we
yes.
need to be ready for it. So you can have
Mm-hmm.
it even before you're 40, if you're
Mm-hmm.
40 already. But it goes ahead to really talk about what you need to do to be healthy. What are the things that you need as a
Mm,
woman in
mm,
that age range to be healthy? So
mm,
went through quite a number of things, unhealthy living, and creating
mm-hmm.
a person that you will be happy with. Okay, that's what the book is about. And yeah, I did talk a lot about rest. I mean, quite a lot of different parts to it, quite a lot of different parts, and it's a fantastic book put together just to be able to help every woman as we advance in age
Mm.
and start a new phase of our lives. And I mean, it is a new phase. The woman
We
at
definitely,
40,
I think we definitely need it.
we
Yeah.
need it, because the woman at
Mm,
40, what are the things that happen? The children are leaving home. If you started having them early, they're going off to
mm-hmm.
college,
Mm-hmm.
so they need to leave home. Your parents are aged. Some of them are passing away around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much
Yeah.
happening
Mm-hmm.
in the life of the woman at the age of
Yeah.
40, and a lot of times the body system begins to change or starts to get ready for the next um, things that would begin to happen. So those changes start to
Mm-hmm.
occur. So it's a lot
Yeah.
of things. And even at that age, a woman is looking at herself like, okay, I'm no longer young. What haven't I achieved? What do I still need to achieve? And we start
Mm,
really,
mm.
trying to really push ourselves like, oh, this
Too hard on ourselves.
yes, I've gotten
Yep.
to this age. What
Mm-hmm.
have I achieved? And all of that. But very
Yeah.
importantly, we need to
Yeah.
be healthy
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
age.
Mm.
I want to be a grandmother if God tarries.
Yeah. You just exactly. I was a guest on one, podcast as well. And exactly what you just said. That's what, because it seems like when we reach some certain age, especially women in their 40s, they've kind of, get tired of life. Actually, when you are in your 40s, when you start taking care of yourself, because the children, like you said, are going to uni, starting their own life. No more parents. Maybe you're a single mom. This is
Mm,
the time for you. This is a time for you to, start that career, that business that you always put at the back burner. Start it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
The travel that you want to do, go for it. You want to start taking care of your body, exercising, if you haven't exercised before, this is the time for it. It's a new beginning. The 40 is a new beginning. But I find that a lot of women dread being 40. They think it's the end of the road for them, So I'm looking forward to read that book. Seriously, I am so looking forward to it. Yeah. So what would you consider to be your biggest achievement in life? I know you've just talked about the book. What would you consider to be your biggest achievement in life?
That's a difficult question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I've actually thought of that.
You don't have to answer it now if you
Biggest
want.
achievement. I think the biggest for me is hitting this new age and knowing that I have a purpose to fulfill. Like, it's not too late, and I've come into the
That's deep.
scene at the right time. I have come onto the scene at the right time. I'm like super excited, and I feel like this is the big thing for me. Okay, this is the big thing. And I think something I've learned from John Maxwell, right? Whatever you're doing, let that be the next biggest thing for you. There have been
Ooh, I
quite a
love
number
that.
of things, but
Oh,
right
I love
now, what
that.
I am doing now is the biggest thing. Is the biggest thing. Have been that voice. I don't think I've ever been this fulfilled, about myself. And I'm so happy. I am convinced that a lot of people will receive help because I have come on the scene. Okay, so this is the biggest thing.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. I totally love that. So, last word, any inspiration, motivation for our listeners? We are rounding up. This is so amazing stuff. You've shared so many, tips and tools that we can use to, navigate through life. So, what is the inspiration and motivation you can share? The last word for our listeners.
Okay, what I would say is we're special, every one of us. You, me, everyone. Bible says God has created us in his own image. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So whenever you look at yourself, look at something wonderful that God has created. Okay, so irrespective of what is going on around you, irrespective of what is going on in you, something I love to do is I love to laugh. I laugh. I laugh. My child will say, "Mommy, what is funny?" Something goes wrong,
Absolutely.
and I do a laugh. I start with a ha 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 ha, and then the next minute is coming from deep within. Because why? With joy, I draw from the well of salvation. With joy, it shrinks the problem around me. It shrinks the situation around me. So please, I will say that let us know that we are not just something someone molded. No, we are created by God, and we're
Yeah.
created fearfully, wonderfully. Nobody can be as good as I am. He created me perfectly for this body that you're seeing. And find time to laugh. Find time to laugh. Find time to do a dance. Find time to shout. Express yourself. Be yourself. You know. Yeah, so
Oh, that's amazing. That is so beautiful. Totally. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Tolu, for, gracing our show today and sharing so many stuff for our listeners. Thank you so much. Please share the links so that people can get the beautiful book. It seems like it's a Bible for women in their 40s. So I particularly me,
absolutely.
cannot wait to lay my hand on that book. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on Bounce Back with Coco-Chi.
Thank you so much for having me. I had fun. Thanks.
God bless you. Take care. Thank you for listening to Bounce Back with Coco-Chi. If you find value in this podcast, would appreciate a rating on iTunes. Please check us out on Instagram at Lifestyle Talk with Coco-Chi. As always, please subscribe to the podcast to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh content. See you next time for another episode.